Well, the weather for the whole of the south of England will continue as it has for the next few weeks. It's going to be hot and moist, with temperatures rising steadily as time goes on. There's a chance of steamy moments as we move into the... sod it. We never wanted to do this. We never wanted to be weathermen and women making innuendos about hot atmospheres and drizzly countries. We didn't want to be child-friendly. We didn't want to bang on about being for over 18s only. We want to talk about our sexy adventures. We want to be lifestylers, leaping from bush to bush as we sail down the rivers of British sex clubs and mountains of crazy experiences. The cheeky purple mamba, the liquid silk pumped liberally into our hand, the rodeo classic brief harness complete with Tantus curve, the Enjoy Pure One stainless steel dildo, the hot octopus digit, the ever so short messages on Fab Swingers, the sexy friends on Twitter, and the mighty vanilla alternative. With my best girlie by my side, we'd swing, swing, swing.
Get in the gym or to your car. With our advice, you could go far. We fuck things up and we make mistakes. And talk about our sexy dates. It's getting hard for this to rhyme. Just as well, 'cause it's bed hopping time.
Hello and welcome to episode 110 of the Bed Hoppers podcast. My name is Mr. H.
I'm Mrs. H.
Together we are recording an episode just for you and the other listeners. Not just you, but mostly you, the one person that's listening right now.
Me, I'm listening.
Are you listening?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you're listening?
Yep.
Can I stop doing the voice now?
Yep.
Okay, I'll just settle down into a regular voice me and welcome you. Thanks for joining us.
I don't think it's possible for you to settle down into a regular voice.
Do you not think it's
No, I
possible?
don't.
Really?
At
okay. And like how much percentage of smashy and nicey do I need to dial up or down respectively?
100%.
Okay. All right. Welcome to the Bed Hoppers podcast.
No, I don't like that. You're
Thanks
too
for joining
flat.
us today.
No.
Oh me, oh my. Another rainy day. We've got some housekeeping to do.
Now you're going into the Dandy Warhols.
Yeah, thank you for buying a record with the dandy boring Warhols, which is a strange reference that only the two of us share.
Yep.
Like many things, I took you for your 30th birthday?
You took me where now?
Hey, I took you all over the place, but we went to see David Bowie, didn't we?
You took me to Lille.
To Lille.
Mm-hmm.
To see David
My
Bowie.
30th to see David Bowie.
And who was supporting Bowie?
The Dandy Warhols.
Yes, and they were the most boring act known to man.
They were
Apologies
boring.
if you do like the Dandy Warhols, but they sucked when we saw them.
They really did.
They're like, because I mean, I guess the pressure of performing before Bowie is going to be
immense.
yeah.
So you'd put on a bit of a show, right?
You would do. You'd try and
You'd
or
really
you just give up, which is what I think they did. So they turned and they're like, we're the Dandy Warhols. Buy a record or don't. It's great. Got a great car. Yeah, what's wrong with it today?
It's the only song I know.
It's the only one they knew.
It's the only one they played.
Anyways, housekeeping. Let's get on to the important stuff to get out of the way. And some exciting housekeeping this time around.
Okay.
The social, the Bed Hopper social, is
Oh, goodness me.
absolutely, completely, 100,000% and extra sold out.
And more than it should
And
be.
more, yes. We have got more people than we anticipated. That's not a bad thing.
No.
I think, just by listening to this...
Because people just have to sit on people's knees.
Really?
Yeah.
Hang on.
If there's not enough seats...
Whoa, let us back up here.
Onto a knee?
Yeah.
An available
You've
lap.
been very, very, very clear
And
about
I
the
continue
level
to be.
of behaviour expected at this social,
100%.
particularly aiming these comments
At you.
at me.
100% at you.
I am not an escalator in this... I can't
You can't even say. You can't even pronounce it.
I can say that.
You're so much an escalator.
The
You
ocean
would be
lift.
Yeah, I was going to say there's far too many puns for me to come out with.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you think that I'm at the social, I'm going to go around escalating?
Yes.
Okay. And what sort of escalation are you sort of anticipating?
I'm not anticipating any. You, sir,
Yes.
are probably going to go and kiss people. You think, but you're not.
What? Hang on a second. One, I don't know if people will kiss me.
No, well, not if you speak like a robot.
No, but I don't know if they will do that.
Look, you can hug people if they want to be hugged
Okay.
because, COVID.
I'm a hugger. I'm a fighter. Can I be a midnight?
It's not within the realms of possibility to assume that, in a social vanilla venue, you might occasionally like be friendly with people.
Okay.
I'm just saying, don't go and kiss everybody.
Oh, I'm not going to kiss everybody.
Because then the poor barman will be like, what is happening here? And why is Mr. H chucking all his keys in a bowl?
It's okay. We'll distract him by sending you in to kiss the barman.
I don't want to kiss the barman.
You don't know what the barman's like.
Or her.
Yeah, exactly.
There
Barkeep.
you go, you see.
All right then.
We'll see.
You said barman at first anyway, not me.
Bar person.
Yeah.
Point is, if you've oversold, then people will just have to sit on people's laps.
Okay, fine. So there may be some lap sitting going on. We've got some special little gifts turning. Well, in fact, they've turned up. The very lovely people at the Gamer Lifestyle sent us some prizes for the people, which is really cool.
That's amazing.
That's
like
really
so
awesome.
exciting. And their packs will be all nice and pristine and shiny and new. And ours like are so battered and used now.
Well, yeah, every day on the Discord, I mean, we spoke to Gamer Lifestyle folks about this. We've been posting another one of their sort of conversation starters.
Yeah, it's been
on that.
great.
It's been absolutely hilarious and fun and insightful and sexy. Like you couldn't ask for more.
So thanks to the Gamer Lifestyle.
Yeah, thank you to those folks. Also, thanks to Kate and Daryl from Wanderlust Swingers who sent us a special package that we will be sort of giving to somebody at the social.
Some worthy winner.
I know. And what else we got? Oh, we got things that we've created.
We have.
Secrets.
And we've also got some other special little gifts that someone has made for us.
Yes, that's true. Some other people have contributed. So all in all, it's all coming together. We've got 2 weeks to go when this comes out.
Oh my goodness. And it's been like, I don't know, a year and a half getting to this point.
It has been. So forgive us if we're banging on about it and you're not able to make it or you can't come or
you'll
whatever.
just have to come to the next one.
Yeah, or we'll just have to tell you about it afterwards, which I'm sure we'll do in a number of ways.
Yes.
But honestly, I'm so excited about it. I can't believe that it's here. I'm slightly in a panic of running around trying to do as many exercises as I can. What can I do in 2 weeks or just over 2 weeks? Have I got what I need to wear sorted? Probably not.
For once, I have.
Well, that's
But
fine.
I'm not opposed to finding a newer and better outfit if one comes up.
I mean, I did suggest that I wear the Freddie Mercury costume and just walk around with a flag on my back. This was seen as a bad idea and in poor taste.
Well, at least what you're wearing isn't gold, like a gold suit.
Oh my. Well, that would
Like
have been
a bloody
fun.
magpie.
No, that's okay. The really tricky thing, though, so we're going to go visit the venue yesterday for you, but slightly in the future for us.
It's for science.
I know this is confusing now.
I'm
but
going to road test the cocktails.
we're going to check the venue, make sure it's all okay, make sure everything's set up, everything's cool, that everyone's all right. They know what times we're there, how it's all going to work, all that sort of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that, and also sort of laying down those final little details so that we can then tell the people that are going to the social where the fucking thing is.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm really excited
still
about
a
that.
closely guarded secret.
It is. So the other thing, the other challenge that we've got, and this is the bit that I really wanted to mention to listeners, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've got to come up with a playlist.
Oh, come on. That's easy for you.
Well, you say that, right? So
Am I going to be allowed to put some moods on it?
no, because all
I'm gonna
Muse
put Muse
songs
on
are
it
like.
That's totally They're not all like that.
That's pretty much every Muse song.
I'm going to put one on
That
there.
was the best of. It's only 10 seconds worth of music.
Screw you. I'm going to put some on there. I'm 100% going to put some Muse on there.
Well, what I'd like are some recommendations from listeners to songs, right? So now what I want the songs to do is kind of reflect us a little bit. So they need to be a bit strange and out there and a bit fun and daft, I guess. But I can't go down the full sort of Disney arsenal of songs.
Because that will stop people's conversations from happening because they'll be so like weirded
Singing
out by
Gaston. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. So I need to be a bit careful and not to go too full Mr. H. I need like Mr. H at 70% value.
And they also need to be, because it's not a dancey social. Now, as much as people may like a bit of a boogie, this isn't really a venue.
A bit of a boogie.
Yeah, but this hasn't really got the space to have a dance as well. So it's more about standing up, chatting, talking.
Well, especially since we've overpacked the fucker. So,
exactly. So
when people are
there's not
shoulder to shoulder.
There's not a dance floor as such. So it's not like housey, dancey music.
No. So I guess what we're after are fun songs that you think represent us.
Yeah.
That you think would be suitable for the occasion, that aren't too dreary.
Correct.
And aren't sort of, full on Suicide is Painless level of sadness. All by myself is probably not the song to pick. But yeah, let's do a competition, right?
Yeah.
So we'll give away a Bedhoppers badge to the best suggestion.
Oh.
So
the best, and how are you going to decide what the best suggestion is.
Well, people can email us at bedhopperssuck@gmail.com, right? And we'll have a look at the suggestions. And the best one, or the one that we think most represents us, will get a Bedhoppers badge.
Fair.
If that's what you fancy. And if you've already got one, well, you get another one. Tough shit. That's what you get. And if you're going to the social, then well done. Thanks for listening and all that. Come along. Hope you have a great time. So that was my thought. So, playlist, send us your song recommendations.
It needs to be 4 hours long.
The playlist, not the one
not
song.
One song.
We cannot play Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire over the
Could have gone with
speakers.
American Pie.
Or the short version.
No, the long one.
The thing is, though, you don't like that song
I
near
do.
me because I sing the Weird Al version, which is all about Star Wars.
No,
So,
we don't need that.
it's a great suggestion. And yes, I would take the Weird Al version over the Don McLean classic I'm using lightly here.
It is classic.
But, that's just the way it goes. So, send us your song thoughts and let us know what you think. That would be really cool. Next piece of housekeeping, right?
All right.
So, something came out this week.
What?
That we've been anticipating for ages and ages and ages. It is not the Spider-Man trailer.
I'm trying to think now what nerve has come out. Is it your schlong?
It's made an appearance.
Come out of hiding.
Come out of hiding a little bit. And it's not really been hiding, to be fair. The thing that I am talking about is our good friend Secret Stag and Secret Vixen.
Oh, right.
They
Yes.
have, or she more precisely,
The
I guess.
much anticipated blog.
Yeah, she's done the follow-up blog.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd already described our sort of first tentative steps in meeting each other.
Yeah.
And when we went for a meal and it was all very nice and there's sort of an undercurrent of, ooh, this could get naughty at some
And
point.
84 years later, she's the
No,
second
not
part.
84. It's only been a month or two or something like that. But we've been really sort of, I guess, excited, nervous.
Can't remember what happened.
Well, not that we can, we can remember what happened, I'm sure. But she wanted to write, or they wanted to write about a weekend that we spent together. And she's been writing the blog about the first night of that particular time. So she's
This is
been
just night one.
just night one, which talks really all about the sort of how things have progressed since that initial sort of little meal and to when we finally caught up. And it's a really interesting, I say really interesting. We were sort of a little bit nervous because we didn't know how we were going to be presented. Again, control freak here, having to let go of control, not an easy thing for me, but we didn't know what she was going to say. We assumed it was all going to be nice stuff, but there was a level of trepidation, wasn't there, right?
It's all about you.
Well, it's
just
not.
wanted to read about.
I did want to read about me, but I also it was about a situation that I remember really fondly.
I know, but
And-
also you like people talking about you.
In a good way, yeah. But I wanted to make sure that we were being talked about in a really nice. I'm sure they wouldn't.
It would have
talked
been a
about
bit
us horrible.
shit if she just written a load of paragraphs
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, Mr. H did this and it was really shit. The end. Love Secret Vixen.
Complete wanker, Mr. H
Mrs.
leaned
H
in
was
and
great.
what?
I know, I read it too.
Anyway, so they released their blog and we read it and it was absolutely fantastic. So the first thing I want to say is a huge thank you for not making us look like a bunch of cunts.
I don't think she would have
No,
it
I
in her
don't
to
think they
make
would have
us
done
look like
either.
that
But
anyway.
thank you for doing a particularly great job of making us look amazing. Always nice to read that about me and you as well, but mostly
There
me.
it is.
Me, baby. It's all about me.
The next blog is Mr. H and his ego.
No, that will take a long time to write that one. There's far too much to go
Yeah,
through
she'll definitely
on,
need 84
on that
years for
front.
that one.
But it was incredibly complimentary. But what I really liked is it took me back to that moment. It was a really sexy night. Although I will say I think night 2 is probably sexier, but you only get night 1 on this one.
Night 2. Yes. I'm trying to remember what happened in night 2. So much happened that weekend.
Night 2. I'm just, there was a moment in the hop in, I think.
Right, well, you can't give any spoilers
No,
away.
I don't want to give any spoilers away, just mere hints that I'm sure she'll come and find me and hunt me down for anyway. But the recollection and the looking back at it was really, really fun to read because it was about me, but also it was really hot. And just reading that story, if that story had been about anybody else, I'd have thought
You
that's
would
a
have
hot
found
story.
that hot too.
Yeah, but because it was about me,
Extra hot.
extra hot.
Did you look in the mirror while you were reading it aloud to yourself?
No, you know exactly where I was when I read it because we read it. Well, you speed read it like you're on Kath and Kim.
Yeah, I literally read it in like 3 minutes. Done.
All right, fucking reading at grade 20 or whatever the fuck it is.
Wow.
I was savouring it and taking my time over some of the bigger words to make sure I knew what they meant. But anyway, thank you to them. If you've not
It
seen
was
it,
lovely.
head to secretvixen.blog and you can read it too. And you can read all our other great stories and blogs, and you can,
They're not all about you, though.
no. In fact, very few of them, I might have a small percentage of them about me or about us, I suppose, if I have to share the limelight at all. But go and check them out. They're a great resource for hot wifing and stag and vixen scenarios and all that sort of stuff. So they've been detailing their journey, and sometimes Stag jumps on and does his point of view too. And I think
No
that's
pressure, Stag.
Sorry, no pressure.
pressure,
Well,
Stag.
I think he's due up next to write the next piece of this, or his reflection on that evening or weekend. So looking forward to that. I'm going
In
to keep
2023.
Yeah, I'm going to send him a message every day. Have you written it yet? How you getting on? How many words you done?
What do you say about me? I want to know.
Yeah, talk about me.
That was me doing an impression of you.
Oh, okay.
By the way.
All right, fine.
Because I can't take a compliment at all. So reading the blog
But
about
strangely,
myself,
you can take a cock, all right.
I can.
That
or
T-shirt is also
several.
available in the Bed
But
Hawker
also
store.
reading a blog about myself was really difficult. Not like in terms of words. I got through that just fine.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How is this?
Because it was complimentary, and you know how I feel about taking compliments.
No, okay.
I find it quite difficult.
It was like my power level was being filled up reading it. It was like bloop, bloop,
Like
bloop,
Scott
bloop,
Pilgrim,
bloop,
aren't
bloop,
you?
bloop, 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 bloop.
Your egometer is full.
Yeah, something like
Whereas
that.
my awkwardometer was like, oh, this is about me. This is weird.
It
was really nice to read, but I do find it difficult to read or hear good things about me.
I think I just struggle with the letting go of the control element. I had faith that it was
You
going to
wanted
be
to meddle,
great.
didn't you?
Well, no,
I bet you did.
I didn't want to meddle, and it would be.
It would be discourteous of you to
Yes,
meddle.
it's not my thing.
Well, it was your thing we talked about.
Well, yeah, there is a bit of that. I think, would I change it? No. Would I have even more written about me? Yes. So therefore, I'm not touching it in the slightest, in the hope that they carry on writing about me.
Fair.
So enough about my ego. Go check out the blog. Check out the Twitters as well, because it's fabulous and really fun. So it's at Secret Stag and at Secret Vixen 1, I think.
Yeah, she's really unhappy about that one.
Yeah, I know. But such is life. So what is this episode about, Mrs. H?
Your ego.
About my ego. Well, I think these folks do feature again in this story, because we did promise a bit of a story for you, gentle listener, in this particular episode. So
you're going to make me say rude words, aren't you?
I am, to a certain extent, but I think there is something that we need to tackle. So what's this one about? Come on.
It is about a weekend that we had. I mean, we referred to this in our last podcast, I think, when we talked about we'd gone on an adventure to a superhero bar.
Yep.
So obviously the superhero bar was just one element of a weekend together with some really lovely people. And we've sought permission to discuss it.
Yeah, they haven't necessarily given us that permission, but we've sorted.
So we have sought permission to discuss what we did that weekend. So we went away with Stag and Vixen, them's of the blog, and also his Cock Cartel.
Okay.
Who have also featured in previous podcasts.
They've got previous with us, right?
They've got previous with us. But, great people come back together again.
Yeah.
Good connections, and that's what it's all about.
It is. I think before we dive into the naughty bits, as it were, there's a couple of bits that I just want to pull out.
Oh, yeah.
Before we even got to that weekend, I think I was feeling a bit nervous.
So we've been planning this for a while.
Yeah,
we should explain.
Yeah, it wasn't just a random, let's go and do this.
It needed some planning.
Well, we had to book tickets to the superhero thing sort of a couple of months in
advance.
advance.
Those well in advance. So.
And something that was on my mind was actually, there was a couple of bits. One, that we hadn't played with one of the couples for a while.
No, because of life and
because
stuff.
of life and COVID and babysitting and
all the stuff that gets in the way of
diaries
people having fun
and
together.
moons aligning and all those things. So I was a little bit nervous about that, about stepping back in with someone that we played with but hadn't seen
we've
for
obviously
ages.
seen them.
Yeah, we've seen them
socially, but we haven't had the luck or the opportunity to get together again.
Do you say the lurk?
Luck.
All right.
One's
haven't had the lurk for ages, love.
So we haven't had the opportunity to get together properly and be intimate together again.
Yeah. So that was kind of weighing in the back of my mind.
Is that because you thought maybe they wouldn't want to play with you again when they saw you naked after 18 months?
Yeah, maybe. That COVID body's really had it up a bit.
You've got a dad bod.
I think I always have had. I don't know. I think
or you've forgotten how to do it.
There was a bit of forgetting how to do it with them in a way. and that I obviously hold them in very, very high regard. And,
and we chat every day.
We do. And I consider all four of these people to be some of my very best friends in the entire world, universe, and so on. But I think because of that, the sort of, can we get back into that space where we can play and cross that bridge again? Can we do that? That was a bit...
Without feeling awkward, or nervous,
there was that in the back of my head. I think the other thing was that this was the first time that as a sixsome
we'd met as a six.
Yeah, that we'd really got together. But we had socially met as a six before.
I'm struggling to remember when now.
In our garden.
Oh yes. Of course, just socially.
We'd had a cup of tea together.
Okay,
and
not the same thing at all.
But not the same thing. So, and whilst I'm sure that everyone was going to get on, there was this sort of, I don't know, almost not science experiment, that's not the right phrase, but this slightly randomness of us all coming together, because there's a few different dynamics at play.
Yeah, of course.
And because certainly Stag and Vixen have a Stag and Vixen approach, or generally a more Stag and Vixen approach.
Which they talk about in the blog.
A lot,
It's not maybe their go-to style to play with couples or larger numbers, maybe.
Yeah. And, his cock, her tail seems to fall much more on the swinger side of things. But their dynamic, again, isn't exactly the same as ours. So I think I was just a bit sort of, are we all going to get on? Are we all going to fancy each other? Or are we all going to want to play with each other? Because I think, whilst we hadn't explicitly said that's what was happening, I think there was there
was some implied flirty talk about we're all going away together and we're all like-minded.
Yeah.
And of course there would be some alcohol and some fun and we're all in a nice Airbnb together.
Yeah. And
not
I think,
just going to sit around and play chess, are we?
No, probably not. And I think that both of those things were sort of really heavily weighing on my mind, because I do adore all of these people, and I wanted to make sure that they all had a good time and that everyone got on. You know what I'm like. I live in this strange la utopian land where most people can get on really well, and
see, this is where you and I differ sometimes, and I know I'm nowhere near the same as you in terms of your kind of altruism sometimes, because you're very much, everything you do, you kind of want other people to benefit, and you want this community all to get on and everyone to be this amazing kind of friendly, happy, everyone does this stuff.
I like how this is very much an episode of two halves. The first half was me talking about my ego. The second one is talking about altruistic me, where I want everyone to get on.
Yeah. And I like that about you. I'm happy to admit that I don't have that sometimes.
Most times.
I can display that. I can, of course, do that. But I don't find it easy sometimes to consider a bigger group of people in the same way that you do. And that's possibly because I'm a little bit selfish sometimes. I don't mind admitting that. And I'm a bit possessive sometimes when I find something I really like. I'm almost like I don't want to share it. And I realise that's not the nature of it. But I do get possessive and a little bit sort of protective, I think, of how I feel about something. And then I'm like, oh, I don't want anything to spoil it.
Well, and I think this is the other thing that's kind of, that we did talk about a little bit, I suppose, was that what if they all end up playing and we're sat at the sidelines?
That. And I have actually openly had that discussion with his Cock Hotel, I think. And being very honest about the fact that I don't want to be a third wheel. I don't want to be left out. And I'm sure King of Fomo over there opposite me doesn't want to be either. Would you?
No, I wouldn't.
But at the same time, you do want people to get on, and you want to introduce new relationships and have them have the same level of fun that we've all had.
And I think the thing that springs to mind is that we've got experience. I feel like we're quite experienced playing with other couples now, and even to a certain extent single ladies. I think we've kind of had enough of those experiences, not enough of them, but we've had enough to say, okay, we've done this a little bit. But I think 4 or more, or 5 or more, hasn't been very successful for us in the past. And I know we've talked about the Borgie quite recently and how that all worked, but that wasn't our
It wasn't our shebang.
It wasn't our kingdom, our show. Not that this was definitely a group effort.
Yeah, it was definitely a group effort.
But at the same point, I don't think any of us are particularly experienced in sort of larger numbers.
No.
And it was a bit sort of like, oh, how's it going to go down? How's this going to work? And I think, for a good couple of weeks, I got myself into a right little fucking, sort of head swirl of how's it going to happen? Because I can't predict that. You can't. There's too many variables when there's that many people. And I think, I predicted how some things might happen or tried to. And to a certain extent, they may have been more or less right. But it's hard not to I found it hard not to go to a slightly darker place because I was worried about how this would all slot together and all these things. Because I worry about all of this sort of stuff. You're probably not.
I probably don't dwell on it as much as you do in that respect. Mainly because I think I prefer in the moment. I like to feel what's happening in the moment and the vibe of all that. And kind of my mood then flows with what's happening. That's not to say I don't think about things in advance and worry about things. I just don't think to the extent that you do.
Yeah.
So my hope was that, yes, everyone would gel and get on really well and that everyone would have a really fun night. But at the same time, I actually didn't want to be left out either.
No, I get that. I understand.
And nobody
that.
wants anyone to feel left out and not be having fun.
Yeah. And all of these things are sort of swirling around. And, we talked about it quite a bit, actually, I think. And we talked about it with them as, as couples, really, not as one individual big group.
You didn't organise a big Zoom, 6-way Zoom.
Yeah.
Right, we need to sit down and talk about
teleconference, lads. Let's get together. Let's thrash this out.
Item 1 on the agenda. Yes. Are you all going to bone each other?
Yeah. Is everyone happy with everyone else? Great.
And one of my biggest worries, actually, before you go into that, I really, really worried that I would be the weakest link in terms of how I looked.
Really?
I still can't get away from the fact that I feel like I am not what I want to look like at the moment. I feel like a potato.
You feel like a potato?
I feel like a potato.
You don't feel like a potato.
And Secret Vixen is like some tall Valkyrie-like goddess thing, she's just stunning. And obviously, Vanilla Ice, as we well know, is this nice little fire sprite of hotness. So of course I'm going to feel really inadequate next to two lovely women. I can't help that.
And that's fair enough. And I think I understand where you're coming from because I had similar sort of thoughts because I know that Secret Stag is very happy to sit back and watch.
Yeah. So that is his bag anyway.
That is his bag. That's
he would
fine.
be okay to do that.
He's kind of okay.
Whereas you don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that. And let's be honest, Lord Voldemort brings with him larger than normal package, shall we say. So
a big of a normal wand.
Yeah, I found all Expelliarmus did. But I was kind of like, oh, okay, does that mean that like all the attention's going to be on him or how's that dynamic going to play out? And honestly, normally if we went somewhere with them and we had that connection and everything was fine because we were in the habit of seeing them quite regularly and we haven't been able to, that wouldn't bother me. But because
the confidence has dropped because you haven't been able to play regularly.
Yeah, well, not that makes me sound like a child, but because
you've said it yourself.
Yeah, well, it's just true. But because we haven't been able to keep that connection up as much as I'd want to, it sort of harmed my confidence a bit. It would make me feel less confident. Same thing, really, but less confident sounds probably better.
It sounds like I could have missed out. I have missed out on a real dueling cocks scenario going on here. No, I was thinking more of a Harry Potter one.
Okay.
Where they're dueling with spells.
Okay.
Except you'd be dueling with penises.
This has taken it to a really strange place.
Well, it's me. What do you expect?
Well, this is true. This is true.
In my head, I've now got, right, okay, this is brilliant. So Secret Stag, I'll come to Vixen in a minute, but Secret Stag is sitting on the sidelines watching, right, in this chair with his drink of choice.
Are you sort of giving us all Harry Potter names during this weird fantasy that you've developed?
No, he's going to be Secret Stag. I haven't got the energy to come up with a Harry Potter name for him. I'll be Snape though, obviously. But anyway, and then Voldemort, so aka the cock element of cocktail, and you, so extremely excitable, all Jedi Mr. H. And you're kind of on this stage in front of Secret Stag and you've got your willies out because it's a duel and you're both going to start like dueling, but at the same time you're casting spells on each other.
But where the fuck is this going?
Know. My mind just took me to this really random dark place.
Have you started your new medication today by any
No,
chance?
but
Are
maybe
you
I
sure?
should.
Maybe you should.
So you're like, casting these spells at each other. But
It
at the
makes
same
it
time,
just
you're
sounds like
cocked
we're like
around.
fucking wanking and Spider-Manning onto each other with
That
fucking
also
secret
sounds
stag
fascinating.
cheering around at the side with his face getting the occasional splash on it. It's a terrible
Maybe,
situation
but
for
I want to
everyone.
obviously watch this because it's fascinating. But at the same time, I'm conscious that Secret Vixen and Vanilla Ice are kind of also like, well, what do we do? So I guess we'll go and have a little lady gang together.
This feels very weird.
It feels amazing.
This is not a good thing. I'm not
Can
signing
somebody out there write this Harry Potter fan fiction for me
up.
based
No,
on the
please
dueling
don't.
cock spell?
Please don't. The only thing we want you to send us is song choices this week. That's fine. That'll be okay. So how did fucking hell?
Come on,
wife-
I dare you to follow this up now. You can't, can
I
you?
ca-
You've
I-
got this in your head. This image is in
No,
your head.
I've got totally know where I'm going. So we had these weird thoughts in our head, and you had some extra strange ones in yours. How the fuck did we get through it?
Well, now I've got this image in my head. I've got no problem getting through it.
I'm sure you don't. So I think we talked about it between ourselves, which
Yes.
which helped quite a lot. The thing is, I find is sometimes though, if we just talk to ourselves, with ourselves, we can occasionally give into paranoia.
We can
And
talk ourselves out of
into-
something
yeah.
eventually.
And we have done a number of times. So
Yeah.
I was really keen that we talked about some of these things with the other couples, albeit individually, rather than your proposed teleconference. And that really helped. But I think actually what really helped was just seeing them and
Yeah.
being in their presence. And I think what it really proved to me is that actually much of this is just my own insecurities and in my head. Because because we went to their house, went to Hiscock Hotel's house, and they drove us in from there.
Yeah.
Once we were in the car with them, all of that started to melt away.
Yeah, because it does.
'Cause-
Because you're in the moment and you realise just how well you get on together.
Yeah, and I think that was really, really useful, and we were able to sort of do a miniature, how are we feeling about it all? How is everyone? How are we doing? Is everyone okay? Type thing, and we'd done a very similar sort of thing with Stag and Vixen.
Yeah.
The previous night, I think, by playing Fortnite and having a bit of a sort of powwow while we were winning games.
Yeah, but it's nice to do that.
It is.
And it's all part of the build-up for me anyway, about what a good weekend you're going to have, because it is fun to talk about it in advance and just get some things out in the open. And also you start thinking about some of the fun you're going to have, because as you start to relax into that conversation, you then start thinking about the fun
Yeah, and it
and
did.
the outfits you're going to wear and what you're going to bring and what drinks you're going to bring, and all that stuff then starts happening, and you then start building your weekend or your experience just by talking through it.
Yeah, and I think, once you're in the presence of people, it becomes a different beast altogether. And I think, we're incredibly lucky because we do really have amazing friends. And once we were in amongst them, all of that stuff, all of those doubts just went out the window, and it became a much more fun, excitable atmosphere. But it did really remind me that all too often you can get stuck in your own head and you can get stuck with your own worries. And quite often those things, whilst they're important to consider and to think about, actually sometimes you just need to take a leap of faith and go with it.
But I also think you're right. You do need to sometimes pull out what's in your head a little bit,
Yeah.
because otherwise it will take over and it will consume you a bit, and
Don't
you'll be
focus
so
on your
fearful.
anxieties, Obi-Wan.
Well, exactly that. And if you're going to go into a scenario which is a little bit new to you again, and this was a little bit new to us,
Yeah.
I think it does help to bring it to life a little bit and talk about it together, because we've said all the way along through this entire journey, you have to talk.
Yeah.
You just have to. And sometimes it's fun.
It's good
In
to
fact,
talk.
it's often fun to talk about it.
It is. And I think that's what's really helped me more, I think, is talking about things afterwards, actually. The talking about it too much beforehand can lead to a slightly unhealthy habit. And I think that's kind of where I need to just kick myself a bit and just make sure that whilst I want to think it through and I want to get my head around some concepts, I shouldn't dwell on that
You
too
don't wanna
much.
spoil
I
it
want
for
to
yourself.
want to have the adventure rather than the worry about it. Which leads me directly to what we were talking about last week.
Oh, yeah.
So we all meet up.
we do. We finally are we going to say where this is?
We went to the superhero bar, right?
Yeah, where is that?
I don't know, London?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't sure if you'd said it was London.
Okay, Superhero Bar, London. It's by the same people that do the Cauldron, which is the Harry Potter, but not Harry Potter bar, where you can go and make potions. We've done that before. We went there with Kate and Daryl.
I didn't get to see any dueling cocks when I was there.
No, there were no dueling cocks, fortunately. But we were able to make cocktails, and we did hang out on the back of the Supervillain bar once we'd made all the cocktails.
Yes. So this is the same people that ran it. Excellent. Very good.
Yeah. So we'd all been sat in various pairs just making cocktails, and then we go to the back room and it's quite empty. And the vibe starts becoming a little bit saucier and naughtier by the moment.
That back room was really fun. I really, really liked the atmosphere in there. And as soon as I went in there, it was a stark contrast. Tony Stark. I knew you'd say that. A Tony Stark contrast to almost like the clinical, bright whiteness and cartoon vibe of the former room. Everything was very like bright light and no soft lighting or anything. And it was quite clinical, like a little being in a chemistry lab, if you like. And we went through to the back bit, and it was very, very much like an underground lair with like soft red lights everywhere and
little neon
shabby
and little,
chic like decor. And a really like a nice brick wall kind of. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And I went in and I immediately went, I like this.
Yeah.
I feel really relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Not only had I had a few cocktails, but
that helped.
But I just felt really at ease.
Yeah.
And we got the best real estate there because we were the first ones in there. So
yeah.
we got this massive settee and ornate chairs around this little table as a little group. And it felt really nice because it was all nice and open. We weren't sitting across each other at like tables in pairs. We were all in a little circle.
Yeah, and I think everyone was chopping and changing seats and moving around, and it was really cool. And then
but it was easy to do that.
Yeah.
It was nice to just keep moving around, and you know, someone would go and get a drink, and then someone else would swap places. It was just a really nice, casual, chilled vibe.
Yeah, I really liked it. But then at some point, I turned around, and you were kissing somebody.
I was.
Yeah, what happened there?
Oh wow! You know how you're so fond of talking.
Yeah.
Well, turns out Lord Voldemort and I had a little chill mug as well.
Oh, really?
About some stuff. And I think we were talking about the fact that it had been quite a while since we'd played as a four, just, you know, the four of us. And also, yes, there was now this new dynamic coming up, and here we all were and how we all feeling. So it was really nice to have a little heart-to-heart with him. And, you know, just, I kind of came...
You came.
I didn't. I kind of got really honest with him and explained how I'd been feeling about how much, you know, life had got in the way and we'd really missed playing with them or just, you know, connecting with them.
Yeah.
And how I was feeling really nervous and how I didn't want to be, you know, the weakest link or the odd wheel, as it were. And we were sat there and it was really nice chemistry. And then he was like, I really want to kiss you. Because we were quite close on the settee, and it was just a really nice intimate conversation about what we were all hoping would happen.
Yeah.
So I said, kiss me then. That's why we're all here having this great conversation. So we just started kissing. And then I knew you'd see me because I was in full view of you. But that was a real turn on anyway, because I could see you on the settee opposite with Secret Vixen. And I thought, well, I'm fairly sure that if he sees me making out with Helvie, then I'm quite sure that you'll follow suit, and you know, it wouldn't be a crime to kiss Secret Vixen, would it?
Well, never.
And so you did. Did you not?
Did I?
You did.
Did I?
You did. You 100% did, didn't I? You know full well that you did.
I might have done it. It's fine. But you know, I've already been told off for kissing. I don't want to go back to that now.
Okay, great. You got over it just fine.
How dare
So yes,
you.
I instigated some kissing.
Some kissing.
And that kind of felt like a bit of a catalyst for lots of activity. Not inappropriate, because we were, after all, in a public place.
Well, there was lots of kissing going on with lots of different people, and there was lots of chopping and changing.
There was.
And that was really hot. That was really sexy.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like constant. We'd all like stop and have another little chat.
Or another little drink.
More little chats. And then every now and then there'd be a little bit of kissing here and there between partners and each other, which was really nice.
So we got a taxi.
Yes.
And we managed to get a taxi for all of us, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think. Well, we singing like
remember.
Disney songs, probably.
Oh, yes, we were singing Disney
singing
songs.
Gaston and stuff like that.
of course
And,
we were.
you know, on the way back.
So we all piled back to this really cool Airbnb.
Yeah. And what happened next?
We were all very hungry.
We were all really hungry. So we had
We frantically, fantastic Mr. Foxed our way through some
no,
stuff, some nice
Yeah.
cheese, and just kind of got a bit more comfy.
Okay. And well, I don't think we ate very much because there was some suggestion pretty quickly of using the fantastic location to take some pictures.
Well, I immediately went and got changed.
Hmm.
I think I was the first one to go and get changed.
Are you sure?
I was. I know I
Okay.
was.
Okay.
Because I came out already dressed down into some little Honey Burdette number.
Oh, really?
And I was feeling, despite me feeling very underconfident earlier when I was talking about how I felt, who knew after a few sherbets, and here I go. I felt like I was amongst good people who wouldn't judge me and would probably appreciate that kind of fun. So
Yeah.
I went and dressed down into some nice underwear, came back in the room, carried on eating.
But at this point, we start taking a bunch of pictures, don't we?
Not of me eating, but
Not of you eating. No, there's the Mrs. H Eats album will not be being
photos
released.
of me eating do exist, copious amounts.
Yeah,
but
and also you drinking as well.
yeah, but on this occasion, we decided to make the most of a really nice atmosphere.
There were a
with the
couple of really
chairs.
nice chairs, yeah, that would look really good with pictures. So
Yeah, nice lights and stuff, and we were all looking really fantastic because all the women had now kind of dressed down a little bit,
yeah,
which is fun.
and all the men had got their cameras out.
The cameras.
Yes, there was a camera fight with one person stood at the other side, and then they
That's
held.
not the same. No, you've lost me on that one.
Anyway, so we started taking loads of nice pics, rearranging everybody with in between sort of bits of making out
Yeah.
and things, and then I think it was suggested that we go upstairs to Stag and Vixen's room
Where the best photos could be taken.
because they had a great chair, right?
Oh, the chair. Sure.
It was the chair.
It was the chair.
They did have the best chair, to be fair, and the best light in that room. However, I suspect that there was a sort of
Ulterior
ulterior
motive.
motive behind that suggestion.
Well, to be fair, there have been lots of photos taken in that chair. I remember seeing them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
There we go, see?
So we did use the chair for its original purpose.
So we get upstairs and it
Mm.
sort of what starts off as a photo shoot becomes quite apparent that it's not really a photo shoot. It is the official start to an orgy, right?
What, did you have like a starting pistol?
I had a little guy come in. Let the orgying begin.
You'd love that, wouldn't you? Have
Yeah.
Matt Berry standing there.
Yeah. But
Officially opening the orgy.
I declare the orgy open.
But you'd literally shit yourself if someone like announced that an orgy was going to start. You'd be like, oh, fuck, I don't know what to do now.
What do you mean?
It has to just happen.
It has to just
I don't
happen.
want someone to announce things and tell me that, no, this is happening.
Maybe he does it like in post-edit, afterwards. So what happened? Where did you start in this marvellous
I
orgy?
started on the bed with Vanilla Ice.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really enjoyed that
Yeah.
because I hadn't had a chance to be intimate with her for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt a little bit like I lost touch a little bit in that
Yeah.
area with her. And plus, I really enjoy making out with women.
Yeah.
No lie. So I started on the bed with Vanilla Ice and we had really nice, we just lay there and sort of kissed each other and we were quite naked, I think.
I think
Mostly
she had her
naked.
shoes on, I think.
Yeah, very nice shoes. Kept her shoes on.
Not all the time, I don't think, yeah. The only reason I know this is because there's a photo of it, I think.
Oh, okay. There is a great photo. Yeah, we shall have to ask if we can use it and put it on that Twitter.
I think it might be a little bit facey, dear.
We can take the faces out.
Then it loses all of it. It really defines it. We've shared it with
We
our
have shared it with people.
our
Yeah.
Discord social chat.
Yes.
So they've
it's a really
seen
hot
it.
picture.
I know, right? Good reasons
I
to
was,
come to our socials in the future, right?
Yeah. And it was really hot, like just making out with her on the bed for a bit. So that happened for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Then what happened?
So I was taking pictures for a chunk of this.
I think Lord Voldemort was occupied in the chair.
Yes, with
The
Secret Vixen.
chair. Mm.
So he was going down on her,
Yes.
which we could see because I was through the lens of my camera.
Yes, you were taking these pictures.
Yeah.
I was involved
Yeah, and Stag was also taking many, many pictures.
You don't say.
Honestly, he was a little bit like sort of Peter Parker Spider-Man all over the place, taking pictures from all sorts of angles.
At one point, I thought he was going to appear upside down.
Yeah, like hanging on a spider web and like take a picture and then next one. So that was cool. And then, so I think I joined you on the bed.
You did.
With Vanilla Ice.
You absolutely did. And what did you do? In fact, I know exactly what you did.
What did I do?
You started kissing Vanilla Ice,
Mhm.
and I made my way further down her body.
Oh, really?
I did.
Toe job?
No. She had her shoes on. We discussed this.
I know. That's why it was really gross kissing you afterwards.
Hey, don't spoil the vibe.
All right. I'm not spoiling the vibe.
You are.
I'm not.
Anyway, I made my way further down.
Okay.
And I went down on her.
Oh, did you now?
Mm-hmm. While you were kissing her.
Oh, that's hot.
We have a picture of that as well.
So many mementos
Thanks
available
to,
at every.
Spider Sprite.
Yeah, you get a free fridge magnet with every bed hoppers orgy.
Yeah, so I did that for a little while. That was really hot, and you stayed at the top end, and I think at some point maybe there was some filleting for you. I don't know. I can't
Maybe a
remember.
little,
I wasn't
maybe.
watching.
Maybe a little.
Was there
Little.
a little?
A little. There was a little bit of that going on. Then you sort of shifted over a bit, didn't you? And you started playing with somebody else.
Maybe. Did I?
Yes, you did. Or someone else started playing
no.
with
I
you.
think somebody else started playing with me.
There we
That's
go.
more correct.
So then I started playing with Vanilla Ice.
Okay.
So I was,
So I don't know much about this bit.
do you
because I
not
was
know
busy.
much about this? So I,
Oh wait, no, I was kissing her quite a bit while some of this was happening.
yeah, so I went down on her for a little bit
Yeah.
and then I started playing with my fingers with her.
Oh.
Yes, not just with myself, like going,
Like a cat's
this
cradle.
little piggy went to market. This little pig. No. Then I started
Okay.
finger blasting her.
Oh
if
my
you really,
God.
okay.
Into oblivion.
Yeah, into oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was oh, by the way, those little noises that you can hear maybe are Yoko dreaming and
I
chasing.
really hope
things,
it's not
yeah.
because she's listening to all this.
Maybe
and
not.
She's having some weird messed up dog dreams.
Weird dog sex dream. That's kind of weird. But anyway, back to the fingering.
Yeah.
So that was really hot. So I was doing that,
Mm-hmm.
and LV came over and started playing with you.
Yeah, he did.
He did, right? Now, at some point,
Yeah.
Secret Vixen came over and started playing with me.
Oh, okay.
And then Vanilla Ice moved over to play with you and LV.
Vanilla Ice sat on my face.
There we go.
basically, Is
Sat on
what
your
happened
face.
there.
Okay.
I remember this distinctly. So she wasn't 69ing me because LV was busy with me.
All right. What was he
But
doing with you?
He he was exploring me with his fingers.
Oh, okay. And what happened?
Everything got really wet.
On whose bed?
Not mine. Sorry.
So that happened.
Yeah, and I actually remember interrupting him and saying, "Oh, you're going to make this happen, aren't you? Again?"
So I think at some point,
And he did.
well, this was going
He
on.
did that.
Secret Vixen was going down on me.
Okay.
There's a great picture of that, by the way. Great picture.
And Vanilla Ice was sitting astride my face.
But Secret Stag was fucking Vixen while she was going down on me.
Okay.
There we go.
See, I missed all that because
I tell you what, this is a nightmare to remember all these code names as we're talking through. I'm doing very, very well not to give away
You're
names
gonna
here.
fuck up sooner or later,
I
aren't you?
really am. So then she eventually climbed on top of me, right?
Okay.
And that's pretty much how things ended, right?
Pretty much, yeah, because by this point, the three of us, so Vanilla Ice, Voldemort, and myself, it was super hot in that bedroom as well.
Called time out.
really, really hot. So we called time out at this point and cooled off downstairs.
Okay.
While the three of you carried on.
Well, it was mainly me carrying on while I think he was filming or watching or wanking or something.
Perhaps.
Maybe
yeah.
a combination of
Combination
all
of
of
those.
these things. And yeah, so she was on top of me, which was really hot.
Yeah. So again, a new one on me, me actually leaving a situation.
Oh, you leaving a room?
Yeah, but not to do other things. I just left.
Yeah, you
'cause
just-
I was kind of done.
Yeah,
and I
let me get
needed-
on with it.
Well, kind of, yeah. And I think maybe previously I wouldn't have been happy to do that. I would have been a bit like, oh, I need to see what's happening because I don't want stuff to happen when I'm not there.
Yeah, I think what we've really found, though, is that when we're in a group of people that we really, really trust, we're a little bit more flexible with these things. As we spoke about on our rules thing, actually, it's a bit easier to cope with that and get through that.
And it's not like I went to bed or, and left everything. I just went downstairs with two of the people, but just to hang out and chill.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would have left you and just her.
No.
Maybe. I think because Secret Stag was there, it felt a bit more like a group.
Okay. So I'm going to go everywhere with these two now then. I know this is all possible.
You're travelling sprites, are they?
Yes, that's right.
My wife says you're allowed to travel as a 3 and we can all
As long as you two are there, both of you are there, that's fine.
No, that's
okay.
not what I mean.
That's what I'm taking out of this conversation.
I just don't think I would have left so readily if it had just been you and another woman, as in you
I
get that.
I get that.
Because that to me feels a little bit like more intimate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
Or a level of intimacy I haven't quite wrapped my head around.
I think if you'd have gone off to do something in a different room, that would have been slightly different.
Possibly, yeah.
But I think because you weren't, you were kind of done at that point, and because he was there, it was fine. So I think there's flexes to that situation.
Definitely.
But it wasn't the time to sort of test those necessarily.
No, and I wasn't going to go up to you and say, "Hey, I'm done."
Yeah.
Get off her.
No, she'd have had to get off me.
But you know what I mean?
I
wasn't going to be a dick about it and say, because I don't want to be in this room anymore, I want you to leave as well. That would have been really weird and not nice.
What I really liked about the whole situation, though, it flowed really nicely, and I was, it's nice that those fears were sort of put to one side, but actually it did feel really organic. It felt really nice. It felt like there was lots going on, that you could participate. Everyone was really open and cool, and that it was such a hot experience, not just because of how hot the room was, but because it was this really great reconnection and connection of friends. And I'd love to explore that more with all of them, and have more times like that. And each adventure is different, and you can't recreate something. But I think the fact that we all got on in this way and it all sort of seemed to be very natural wasn't surprising, but it was a real relief.
So were any of your fears realised?
I don't think so. I don't
justified.
No, I don't think I think they may have been justified as thinking it through in my head, but I don't think they were justified on the night. There wasn't a moment where I was like, oh. I mean, I did get to a point where I was taking pictures. Like, oh, I've taken enough pictures now. I want to take part because I have a limited tolerance for that. It's fine if it's all posing for pictures and nothing's actually going on. That's one thing. But when things are actually happening and I'm taking pictures of that, then I start to get the FOMO and start to feel left out.
Yeah.
So, but again, I felt that, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take part and I'm going to slide in here, and that was absolutely fine. It was really hot because the environment was so sexy. It was it was fun to watch for a bit, but at the same point, you know what I'm like. I like to be involved and like to be in the middle of it all if I can be. So, and it wasn't difficult to.
It didn't seem to me that anyone was at a loose end.
No one felt
standing there like going, "Oh man!"
And everyone seemed to be sort of getting what they wanted out of the situation, which was really cool, and I really enjoyed that.
And things they didn't want, like a wet bed.
Yes, yeah. Not my fault. Not my fault.
Yeah, it's unavoidable.
Unavoidable. So there we go. So that's that was that part of it.
I remember at one point, I almost wish I could have detached myself from all of it and just looked down from the ceiling. Because I can only imagine it must have looked like some awesome like world cinema erotic movie with all these bodies. Like I don't say all, I was only 6 of us, but it felt like a lot of people in a room.
But I tried to do that, but my camera failed. It turned off. So I do want to do that because we've tried that in a different location and it was really interesting.
But at that point, I would have loved there to have been a mirror on the ceiling.
Yeah.
I absolutely would have loved that.
That would have been a cool thing. That would have been quite funky. So we then went downstairs and being quite hungry, and it being quite late, Secret Stag and I went out on a mission to try and find some food.
Did you ever? You've gone ages.
We were gone like 45 minutes because everything had closed up at this point. We eventually found like a little sandwich shop, brought it back, And we bring back these really nice little toasted, I say little, they were huge,
Pizza things.
toasted pizza-y things. But what I loved is that Vixen and Mrs. H were just sat in the front room just chatting.
Yeah.
And Vanilla
Hungry.
Ice and LV, their bedroom door was open. And so we walk in and we can just see them going at it.
I know.
And I was like, hey, this is the coolest place ever. This is amazing. So, and when they were done, they got to come out and have a nice sandwich. So
Win-win.
Yeah, you don't get better friends than that. You really don't.
Yeah. But again, me and Secret Vixen kind of just didn't know what to do about that. So we just sat and waited.
We're going to wait here for our sandwiches.
Is it rude to go in or not go in? I don't know. What's the etiquette here?
Yeah, we need to establish some of that etiquette. But yeah, it was such a wonderful weekend and experience.
Mm.
I'm so glad that we did it. And it was the actual superhero bar was fun. It wasn't amazing or as amazing as the Harry Potter thing, but the fact that we got to experience it with these great people and that the Sexy Times sort of all shaped up in the best possible way, I think.
Yeah.
Sure, there's things that we could do differently, but I think overall, I came away feeling so happy that we'd been able to reconnect with some friends that we haven't played with, get other friends together, and that we'd actually, it feels like we made something of a team all together. And superheroes, probably a good idea. So I think the Avengers will have to reassemble at some point.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Any final thoughts on that, Mrs. H?
It's inspired me to maybe carry on trying to look a bit better. Because, when we do finally get that mirrored ceiling.
Well, we've got a social in just 2 weeks. We may have mentioned it. So
yeah, I didn't manage to get dysentery or anything.
No, I know. It's a terrible situation.
So I'm not going to shed that 3 stone before then.
Not before then, no. I'm afraid not. But
not
you do look amazing. Your hair looks absolutely on point.
Thank you.
So you are looking...
I shall make sure everyone looks at my hair.
Splendid. Keep your eyes on the face.
Yeah. Don't look around the eyes. Just look at my hair.
Exactly that. Right, Mrs. H, do you want to do your thing?
Oh gosh, are we at the thing already?
We're at the thing, I think. Well, unless you've got anything else to add.
Wow, have you got what? No, I don't think so.
What? Yep. Don't forget, send us your song requests.
Yes.
That'll be awesome. Looking forward to
hearing
those.
And also thank you to our new Patreons.
Yes.
We've had new
patrons.
Is that what you call them? Patrons?
No, the thing is called Patreon. They are called patrons.
Patrons of the Patreon.
Yes. Thank you for being our patrons. You are awesome.
Thank you, new people.
Yes, thank you for supporting us. We're going to have some content coming out just for you soon, which will be cool. Looking forward to sharing that. Miss H is looking at me blankly. She has no idea about it, but it's fine.
Wow.
#sex tape. And
what?
Not really, don't worry.
Oh, I know you have got something lined up. It's not for the Patreon though. I think I know you've got something in the pipeline.
I've always got something in the pipeline.
Oh, I know you do.
Exactly. It's dodgy digestive system. That's what it is.
Oh, God.
But yeah, thank you very much to our patrons for giving us money and looking after us and being absolutely awesome. Don't forget there's Discord chat if you want to join that. That would be cool if you've signed up. Anything else, Miss H?
No, I think that's it now.
Do your thing.
Thank you for hopping into our bed.